When we talk about NPA, there are certain internal factors where the underwriting standards or the credit risk management practices, they now in retrospect, I feel that they should have been more robust. So this is the internal factor.
Right.
But there are many external factors also that when the credit decisions were taken, they are taken on certain assumptions. Whenever you give a credit, any bank gives credit,
Right.
we try to estimate what is the probability of default of that credit, what is the macroeconomic scenario, how the story of the country's growth is going to
But sir, if you look at the most recent case, the PNB Nirav Modi scam, the 11,000 crore rupee scam, what we've been told is that Mr. Modi had actually approached a private sector bank as well, but they turned him away, whereas PNB welcomed him with folded hands. That's the problem, that the public sector banks are run more like a bureaucracy and less like a business, and banking is all about managing risks.
But this is a very, I would say, that very wrong interpretation.
Okay.
So if you take Nirav Modi and Gitanjali Gems together, are there no private sector banks?
Of course,
So
there
then-
are.
So this hypothesis, I don't subscribe to that, that the risk management structures in private sector banks is necessarily better. So
No, I'm not drawing a comparison. I'm not drawing a comparison.
I think your question probably gives that Nirav Modi, all private sector banks kept out, but you look at the list of the bankers to Nirav Modi as well as Gitanjali Gem, and you will find fairly good mix of public and private sector
Actually,
banks.
at this point, public sector and private sector banks both are in dire straits. So we can't really.
That is where.
Yeah.
So basically, anyone who was in corporate banking, they are having trouble. If the business model was that you kept away from the corporate banking, then you may not be in trouble. So that is one thing. As far as Nirav Modi case is concerned, it is not a credit risk. It is a operational risk where the supervisory controls, they are found to be lacking prima facie.
Right.
I have not gone into detail. I don't have the details of what actually has happened. But prima facie, as a banker, it appears to me that the lines of defense, which we talk about in the risk management, those lines of defense did not work. In any risk management structure, you have to understand that we work on 3 lines of defense. First is at the branch where the transactions happen. Second is the supervisors or the controllers.
Right.
Third is the audit. So it is not that risk governance architecture is not in place, but somehow it did not work. And why it did not work, that is what the PNB's, I presume, board and management would be looking at. But
Let me go back to the earlier point that you were making, that that there is a sense that public sector banks need to do better credit risk management. How can public sector banks do that? As in, are we on the path to a more reformed?
I think when you learn, and you learn the hard way, then that is also the time to look back and see what went wrong. And as I said, that for any NPAs, there are internal and external issues. External factors or macros you don't control. That when the credit risk is assessed, we take into account all the possibilities what can go wrong.
Right.
But some of the things like this
Are beyond your control.
are beyond control.
You know, this entire PNB fraud, the Nirav Modi running away, Vijay Mallya running away, has probably jolted the system, and it's making the government also not look so good. So why is it that we are only looking at it now? Why didn't we think of this earlier?
PNB matter, it came at the wrong time, let me put it this way. Because the reform agenda was prepared. And as a part of the capital raising program, there is a very clear memorandum of understanding which has been entered into by all the banks with the DFS or the government, and the agenda has been drawn. All the banks are working on it, but the attention got diverted, unfortunately, on the PNB scam. So let me just complete it as this thing. So what we are seeing today, that everybody believes that it is all scams, all frauds, but that is again a very cynical view in my view. It is not that everything is just everything is wrong. It is not like that. You look at the State Bank of India's balance sheet. Let me put some numbers in figure. My balance sheet size is 32 lakh crore, right? My corporate credit is 6 lakh crore. Corporates and mid corporates. I can be very happy, and all my people will also be happy to let go this 6 lakh crore, right? And I am telling you, my numbers will look fantastic. But is that the approach? As the largest bank in the country, can I take that approach? That no more corporate banking for me. I am very happy doing everything other than corporate banking. Still, I will be 2.5 times for the next largest bank. My profits will be higher than HDFC Bank. My valuation will be higher than HDFC Bank.
Right.
But as the State Bank of India, which is the leader in the banking industry and has certain responsibilities. So today, I am telling you that very time we often wonder that why should we be in corporate banking. But at times I also think that if I say that I don't want to be in corporate banking, are we doing any justice to the economic growth or to the banking system?
Right.
So the considerations for the public sector bank and a private sector bank, there is a inherent fundamental difference.